Hi, I have Ian with me. Ian is one of the JDD 2013 speakers, and I'm going to ask him a few questions about his tutorial and about his stay in Krakow and about the conference. What's the Spock? You're talking about
Spock,
yes.
yes. Spock is Test in plus plus. It's a very elegant language. If people are familiar with what JUnit is, it's the next iteration of JUnit. It's very expressive. It's very nice to use. It's simple. It's elegant, and all round it's just good fun to use. And if you give developers a good, nice, clean tool, then they're more often than not wanting to do the testing, which is what we're trying to strive for, is to get testers or to get developers testing, because believe it or not, developers don't really like to test their code. They like the exciting thing. So what's the Spock? It is a very fantastic testing framework, and that's also in conjunction with another product to talk about, which is called Jeb, which again, used in conjunction with Spock, is a browser automation tool, which if people are familiar with Selenium and WebDriver, it is the next iteration of that there. And again, it's both Spock and Jeb are based on a Groovy DSL. And for those who don't know what Groovy is a JVM language. It's got all the niceties of Java, and also it's got a lot more on top of that there. In fact, a Java developer today could actually go and write Groovy code because it's 99% compliant. So with the likes of Scala and Clojure, it takes time to get yourself up to it, but with Groovy, you're there already. So it's nice. It's a nice language, and it's very expressive. And both Jeb, which is the browser automation tool, and Spock, they work really well hand in hand.
How it happened that you became a software developer? Why did you choose this issue, and why Java? Why Java?
That's a very good question. Obviously, university. I graduated in 2003, so Java was coming onto the more mainstream late 90s, early 2000s. So very passionate about technology from a very early age. I remember the first day I was coding Visual Basic, and I was so excited to, like, when I was able to write things, I would show to my mother, like, look what I've just wrote. And I've like, you know, you're small, like, this is 13, 14. My mum never used a computer in her life. She's saying, that's nice, son, that's nice. So I always remember I had that true passion for technology, and I was fortunate enough to be able to actually make a career out of that. And more recently, I've left development on a day-to-day, and I do more consultancy. So I've been a consultant for 10 years now. So I work with large enterprises. I've been through a lot of projects. I've had a lot of pain. I've had a lot of experience, and I've got the war wounds, as we say. So I have went through the projects. The reality of complex, large-scale, multi-tenancy projects is that they are hugely complex, and you have a lot of moving parts, a lot of variables. So over the last number of years, I've been involved in that, and that's really what I love. Is the I'm hugely passionate about technology, but I'm also very, very, very excited about the business application of technology, and not just technology for technology's sake. So I love when I see a solution in an industry or an enterprise that's solved through a new technology, or indeed an existing technology, when it's done right. And it's really rewarding when you actually see people using what maybe took two and a half years to design and implement, and then you walk through the shop or the offices, and you actually see that's the code that we've spent 2.5 painful years with a lot of complexity, and now people are actually getting real, true business benefits. So that's how I come in, and I am very passionate about Java. us technologists can be religious, and some days people like you always get the it's if you remember it's still today you've got the Android versus the iPhone type debates. It's prevalent in technology too. You'll have Scala advocates, and everything else is brilliant, and or everything else is not worth looking at. Scala, and then you have the closure guys, and then you have just purist of Java saying Java 8's going to solve the problems that the Scala's solving today. So you have all this mix, but that energy, that energy that it brings to the industry is fantastic. So I like all technologies. I don't base myself in any one circle. So I appreciate the beauty of Scala, of Clojure, and indeed of Groovy, which, in my view, going back to what my presentation is about this afternoon, is the undervalued kid in the JVM space. I feel Groovy doesn't have the credit that it deserves, and I feel that that's one of its selling points. It isn't this all-encompassing, high and mighty, likes of the more mainstream alternative JVM languages. They are we can do this, we can do that, and I feel Groovy in a smart way is sort of saying, well, I'm just going to do it right. I'm not going to get here and promote myself and say what I can do. I'm just going to get on and do the job. And I like that, and in the language you see that, and it's I can't speak higher about Groovy. It's or indeed Spock or Jeb. It's been an absolute enlightening. So the reason I'm passionate now today and I'm talking about testing is because in my mind, I'd love to is the holy grail on a software system that has no bugs. And I think, is that possible? Is it even humanly possible? Like, because forever we employ the industry as a whole must have millions of people who have just dedicated on bugs, but you don't have that in other industries. Like, how many bugs does a Boeing 747 have? Things like that. There, so it's an interesting question, and one of the ways to tackle that is to have well written, well understood test plans. And that, I seem, is something that is a keen interest to me. And then on my travels, in me trying to find, like, just get more into it, the concepts of continuous delivery, and the other agile-based methodologies, trying to actually get feedback as quickly as possible from your software. As part of that journey, I came across Spock and I came across Jeb, and that's the reason why I'm going to talk about it today.
You mentioned that your software developers' interest was based on the university, because in the school you started writing something. How do you feel? Do the people who finish studies, do they have knowledge, or actually they learn that in practice when they start working for companies?
That's a very good question, and in my experience, I've done a lot of hiring. I've recruited a number of developers, teams of developers. I actually, in one of my roles, I was overleading an entire team, but our team was based upon innovation. So I needed the best. I needed the best caliber of people, and I think it's without a doubt you need the experience. But more important that I look for. In terms of you've got your classification, did they get a first class honours degree, did they get a higher or upper second 2-1, this is the British classifications, so the basically the grade of doing above that. There, what I personally look for is the actual the mentality of the person. Mm-hmm. And if I ask them questions in the interview, what do you do? Tell me what your passions for and interests. And they might be the shyest guy, but then when they start talking about technology, they get excited. And you see that, and they may not have got the top grades where other people are coming in and say, look, I've got A's in all my things. But you can actually see in a person, mm-hmm. and when they start getting excited, and when they start saying, yeah, I'm going to go home and do this and do that, you just think, I'd like you to come and work for me. Yeah, I know that it's going to take a little while for you to base yourself into the corporate world, the cultural shift, because there's a huge cultural shift between the academic world and actual the cultural world, and again that there's a lot of pain involved in that too. From myself as trying to mentor and bring people through and help them progress and grow as a software developer and as a person. So it can be painful, but overall it's rewarding, and I really enjoy that part of my work as well.
In the past, you have worked with such big companies as Volvo, as Oracle. How do you feel about that? How is the work with such a big customer?
Yeah, it's demanding is probably one word. It's fantastic. You've met a lot of a wide berth of people, and like you say, I've worked with the likes of Oracle and SAP. I've had the opportunity to work within their space and how they operate, and it's a fantastic knowledge from just me understanding how these such massive companies work. But it's an interesting, demanding role, but overall it's positive and I enjoy it.
What's your opinion about JDD? How do you like the event? How do you like the event and how it is placed among other events organized in Europe or in the world?
Well, firstly, JDD I think is fantastic as a conference, and what I love about I've been to 33 Degrees, which, as you know, was in Warsaw this year. It's another community-driven conference, and I was a geek-con as well. And what I really appreciate is that energy. And I talked about it earlier. When you find people who have a true energy, just in fact, lunch today, I had this opportunity to talk to guys about testing, and I got their experiences, and I could hear that excitement. And I thought to myself, if I had the opportunity, I would hire you. And there's the beauty of what JDD is. It brings that excitement and the people who really want to be at conferences, and it works well for the speakers like myself as well, because we get feedback. We're learning from the guys and their experiences and what their thoughts are. So it's all round. It's a fantastic experience, and I feel that there about the Polish technology community as a whole. And I believe that there's the testament to Poland, and that's why they are attracting Poland as an industry, or the technology industry is attracting large corporations, the multinational world-leading corporations, because they understand, well, at least they should understand, that if you can get an office in Poland, you will get high caliber, passionate developers for your team. And for myself, that's the biggest problem we have in an industry from a business perspective, is trying to find the good people, trying to find those people.
If you were to summarize JDD in one sentence, what would you say?
I would say a well-rounded, community-driven, fantastic conference.
Okay, thank you. I had Ian with me. Ian is the speaker of the JDD 2013. Thank you, Ian, one more time. I hope you will meet each other at JDD or other events which are organized by the Pridea Foundation. Thank you.